Hello, welcome back to LIVENODING. Continue with our Cylinder MK2 experiment. It's a Sverchok nodes, of course, and we're gonna be using the cylinder once again. Oh, it's a bit dark. Okay, cool. Now, what we're gonna do today is to play around with this parallels and meridians profile. Okay, save this as cylinder noise, because we want to disturb the cylinder using this parallel and meridians profile. There's actually really handy features for cylinder. So by default, cylinder gives you cylinder, but if you give random value here, you will see, right, things started to get interesting. So yep, so that's random 10 random value plug into the cylinder, and you already started to get interesting result. Increase the parallel, and you start to see, okay, apparently the parallel is being disturbed by this random number. If we use range float, so let's try like 10 float number from 0 to 10, plug into the, not the parallel, the meridian, and you get that. That's actually like from 0 to 10 unit. So it's not really disturbing, but it's really give the profile. So if we are using circle and plug the circle into the noise, so these vertices of the circle will create noise and will give scalar value that we can use as the profile. So this is the noise. It's almost like a revolve, right? And by modifying the circle, you're gonna get different kind of noise. Number of vertices, maybe we need to match it with the number of parallel. So yeah, that's basically the idea. And let's see what we can come out with. So circle, radius, randomize the seed. It's actually more interesting if you use move and vector, and then just move the circle in Z direction, for example. So you get the noise that generates the cylinder. So I'll give you the idea if you ever want to do this. Earlier today, I actually created this. This is actually, I'm using animation nodes, real-time audio sampling, and then simply pass the data into Sverchok somewhat. I'll probably make another video for this, but for now, let's get back to this guy. Let's see what else we can do here. Instead of just circle, maybe we can use the noise for the parallels. Now it's a little bit more interesting again, and the number of, see, we have to match, maybe we need to match the number of vertices, but for now we can just leave it as it is. So you get this shape, which is pretty interesting. You can play around with the noise, different kind of noise. Cell noise give you the most weird looking result. If you see the artifacts there, you simply go to the viewer and then turn on N-gon tessellations. So this is rather interesting shapes. Maybe with some cleverness you can take advantage of this profile in parallels and meridians. There's a radius control and this guy. And try also the separate, right? Simply separate our random looking shapes. Kind of wondering if we can have multiple noise plugged into this guy. So range integer. Oh, maybe cannot. Maybe we need to do that differently. But yeah, so at this point, let's see what else we can do. Twist. Okay, twist is actually interesting. Once you twist it, suddenly the shapes is more random than it's supposed. It's actually the same shapes for all of this guy, but they look kind of random. And at this point, you can maybe you can also randomize the cylinder itself. Randomize. Oh yeah, you can't do that. Maybe don't worry too much about that. Solidify, maybe solidify doesn't work either. If you bake this, you're gonna end up with a lot of objects, so that's one thing to note. You can join them and then solidify, and you get these shapes, which is pretty interesting. And then at this point, you can also try wireframe. Pretty interesting. Okay, let's play around with this a bit. So we get the noise and the multiplier. Randomize the seed. Can we control the noise itself? Well, maybe here. You can have more randomness. I have similar setup somewhere, and then the result looks really different. So we can control this. If you don't want too much noise, maybe vector math, this guy here, and then multiply with scalar and reduce the value, so it's less random somehow. And also here, so more random or less random. Doesn't seem to have any effect. Maybe here, just with math. So reduce the noise. For noise. New plugin, okay. Yeah, I think still pretty interesting. And these guys are circles, so maybe we need to triangulate it at some point. Triangulate, mesh, polygon. Yeah, it's refusing because we probably need to join it. Mesh join. Oh, okay. Please join separate, loose, so separate. Now we're gonna end up with multiple objects. Oh, it doesn't like that either. Ah, okay. So if we forget about separating it, I guess this is kind of what I want. Triangulated mesh, and you can wireframe it. Select, turn off even thickness. Yeah, it's something, it's some kind of design. It's not great because it's got triangulated like that, but let's see. Maybe I didn't really think about this. Okay, separate, and then from here to here, it's kind of strange. If I extrude separate faces, will this work, or oh, it's giving me another error? Separate, loose. Nope. Oh well. It must be something that I forgot. There are a bunch of circles. If I bake it, become a lot of objects, and we can join them and extrude, or yeah, or do some kind of inset. But yeah, I have to try something, but that's basically the idea. The noise for the parallels and the meridians will disturb the profile of the cylinder. And even though that sounds simple, it's pretty powerful idea. And you can always twist it. And it's almost becoming like, if you want to make like this simulations of tornado, this might also be one way to do it. We don't have control over the center of the cylinder, but you can always kind of play around with the matrix. I mean, if they're separated, let me try. If I use line, plug into the location, and you see how it's starting to separate the circle. And then if you randomize the line, you see it's also randomized our tornado. So how many circles do we have? Maybe 80. Adjust the step. Yep, that's kind of like the skeleton of a tornado. Kind of. And you still have total control of the shapes. And let's get back to our noise. Kind of losing our random noise. Ah, there you go. Scalar, multiply by scalar, and increase the meridian. Yep, it's looking kind of interesting. Yep, I think this is kind of what I want. And so this will work because you have separate. If you turn it off, it's gonna be something else. But this option on and off is very interesting. Once you separate this guy, then it's one shapes will be controlled by each matrices that you provided here. That's important. Here we actually, it says one object, but we actually have 80 shapes. Okay, save. So I think I missed something here, definitely, because we can't use extrude or inset geometry. We're supposed to be able to do that. See, it's gonna give me another error. So anyhow, so that's another look at Cylinder MK2, and this is cylinder when it's being kind of disturbed, when the cylinder profile is being disturbed by the noise. And get used to this idea because it's very interesting. Anyway, hopefully you find this useful. Let me know what you think, and I'll see you next time. Thank you. Bye.